Hello students, welcome to economics class. Today we are going to discuss about the first chapter of economics, that is concept of economics and significance of statistics in economics. This is chapter 1, class 11th. What are the basic concepts? First, this is economics. It refers to the study of limited resources having alternative uses in order to fulfill unlimited human wants. In fact, it is related with the rational use of limited resources. Second, scarcity. It is a situation when demand for a thing is more than its supply, even at zero price level. It means shortage of resources. It is not concerned with price at all. We oftenly see that there is shortage of medicine in civil hospitals, that is in government hospitals. In government hospitals, medicines are provided free of cost, but there may be shortage. This is only because of the reason that demand for a thing is more than its supply. Now, what's about the economic activities? Economic activities are related with the use of scarce means in order to generate income. Main economic activities are consumption. It is the process of using up utility, value of goods and services for the direct satisfaction of wants. Second, production. It is the process of converting raw material into useful things, that is the conversion of inputs into final output. Saving. It is the part of income which is not used for consumption. Investment. It is the process of making expenditure by the producers on the purchase of such assets which help to generate income. In other words, it refers to the process. It is a flow of increasing capital stock. Next, this is distribution. Distribution is very important and it refers to the process of distributing generated income among factors of production according to their share. There are four factors of production. One is land, second is labor, third is capital, and fourth is entrepreneur. The remuneration that is paid to the land for the use of its services is rent, and the remuneration that is paid for the use of services of labor is known as wages, and the remuneration that is paid for the use of services of capital is known as interest. Last, this is the profit. Profit is paid to entrepreneur. Students, entrepreneur refers to a body that combines all the factors of production and is responsible for every type of risk, that is the profit as well as the loss. Economic agents. Now we will discuss about the term economic agents. Economic agents refers to the individuals and institutions who take economic decisions. Individual economic agents include consumers and producers. They focus on the maximization of personal gains. On the other hand, institutional economic units include state or statutory bodies like RBI, SEBI, etc. They focus on the maximization of social welfare. This is about the microeconomics and macroeconomics. Dear students, there are two branches of economics. One is microeconomics and second is macroeconomics. Microeconomics deals with economic issues or economic problems related to micro or individual or single units like a household, a firm, or an industry. These issues and problems are stated and addressed largely with a view to maximizing individual welfare. On the other hand, macroeconomics deals with economic issues or economic problems at the level of economy as a whole. These issues and problems are stated and addressed keeping in mind the goals of social welfare or collective welfare, for example, problems of unemployment, poverty, etc. Dear students, you will discuss about these two branches in detail in the later course of the syllabus. In 11th standard, you will study more about microeconomics, and in 12th standard, you will study about macro concepts. Now, what is statistics? Statistics can be defined in singular as well as plural sense. Statistics in plural sense, statistics refers to statistics. It refers to an information in terms of numbers or numerically expressed data. In other words, a numerically expressed information that can provide some meaningful conclusion can be called statistics. For example, birth rate in India is 18 per thousand compared to 8,000 in USA. It is to be noted that an information that is expressed in numbers but is not capable to provide any meaningful conclusion cannot be called statistics. For example, a cow has 4 legs. So keep in your mind the two facts that information or the fact should be numerically expressed and should be capable of providing some meaningful conclusion. Now, statistics in singular sense. In the singular sense, statistics means science of statistics or statistical methods. It refers to techniques or methods relating to collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of quantitative data. In other words, statistical study has 5 stages. Dear students, you will have to learn the sequence of these stages. Accordingly, you will be able to learn the definition of statistics in singular sense. Stage 1, collection of data. Stage 2, organization of data. Stage 3, presentation of data. Stage 4, analysis of data. Stage 5, interpretation of data. Dear students, the entire subject of statistics in 11th standard will move around these 5 stages. Now, what's about the features or characteristics of statistics? It is very important topic. The very first feature is aggregate of facts. A single number does not constitute statistics as no conclusions can be drawn from a single number. Only aggregate number of facts is called statistics, as the same can be compared and conclusions can be drawn from them. For example, if it is stated that there are 100 students in a class, then it is not a statistics. But if it is said that there are 30 students in arts, 40 students in commerce, and 30 in science, then it makes statistical sense. Now, numerically expressed. Statistics are expressed in terms of numbers only. Qualitative aspects like small or big, rich or poor, etc. are not called statistics. Only quantitative aspects are studied under statistics. For example, if we want to compare the height of Irfan Pathan with Sachin, we need to study the numerical information, like the height of Irfan Pathan is 6 feet and 2 inches and that of Sachin is 5 feet and 4 inches. Then these numericals will be called statistics. Next, this is multiplicity of causes. Statistics are not affected by any single factor. Rather, they are affected by many factors. For example, 20% rise in prices may have been due to several causes like reduction in supply, increase in demand, shortage of raw material, etc. Reasonable accuracy. A reasonable degree of accuracy must be kept in view while collecting statistical data. This accuracy depends on the purpose of investigation, its nature, size, and available resources. We will discuss these concepts in later parts of the book. Dear students, keep in your mind, statistics is not is just a social science. It is not a pure science. Means the results concluded on the basis of statistics are not 100% correct, but there is always a reasonable accuracy. So keep in your mind the results are not valid everywhere, like the uh, pure science means absolute science, but this is true up to an average, means there is always a reasonable accuracy. Next, this is enumerated or estimated. Statistics may be collected by enumeration or are estimated. If the field of investigation is quite large, the procedure of estimation may be helpful. For example, 10 lakh people attended the rally addressed by Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi in Delhi. On the other hand, if the field of inquiry is limited, the enumeration method is appropriate. For example, the collection of data related with height of the students of 11th commerce means when the field of inquiry is limited, we use the enumeration method, but if the field of investigation is large, then the process of estimation will be more helpful. Next, this is collected in a systematic manner. Statistics should be collected in a systematic manner because no conclusions can be drawn from statistics collected in a haphazard manner. Now, next topic, this is nature and subject matter of statistics. Nature of statistics. According to Professor Tippett, statistics is both a science as well as an art. It is a science because it studies numerical data in a systematic and scientific manner. It is an art because it studies the quantitative data and relates them to the real life problems. Dear students, it is an art because it is a social science and studies the human behavior in different types of circumstances. Human behavior is quite unpredictable, and statistics helps to study this unpredictable human behavior and correlates it with the real life. That's why it is an art. Now, what's about the subject matter of statistics? Descriptive statistics. It refers to those methods which are used for the collection, organization, presentation, as well as analysis of data, means the first four stages of statistical study. Then, inferential statistics. It refers to all such methods by which conclusions are drawn relating to the universe or population on the basis of a given sample. Descriptive statistics covers first four stages of statistical study, while the inferential statistics covers fifth stage, that is interpretation of data. Next topic, this is functions and importance of statistics in economics. Statistics plays a keen role in economics. The very first, this is quantitative expression of economic problems. Statistics gives quantitative expression to economic issues like unemployment, price rise, shrinking exports, etc. That's why it helps the economist to understand the magnitude of these problems and formulate the policies accordingly. Next, this is intersectoral and intertemporal comparison. Statistics helps to make sector-wise as well as time-wise comparison of the problems or the economic issues. Intersectoral means the sector-wise comparison and intertemporal means time-wise comparison. For example, the existence of unemployment in rural areas is more than as compared to the urban areas. Next, this is working out cause and effect relationship. Statistics enables us to find out the relationship between cause and effect of different sets of data. It helps the economist to diagnose the problem and suggest some effective remedies. Now, construction of economic theories or economic models. Economic theories can be established on the basis of relationship between different sets of statistical data as statistics finds out the relationship between cause and effect, hence helps the economist to formulate economic theories and economic models. Dear students, keep in your mind that an economic fact may be affected by several reasons or several causes, and statistics enables us to find out the cause and effect relationship. For example, if price of tomatoes has increased, it may be due to several reasons, that due to increase in demand, secondly due to shortage of supply, due to increase in cost of transportation, etc. Because statistics establishes the relationship between cause and effect, that's why it helps the economist to formulate the economic theories and economic models. On the basis of economic theories and economic models, economists do economic forecasting. By the term forecasting, we only mean to assess and ascertain the future course of certain events which are of economic significance. For example, we can say uh, in 1991, due to increase in price of diesel, the demand of diesel was reduced. In the year 2001, due to increase in price of diesel, the demand for diesel was reduced. Now we can forecast that if in the year 2020 price of diesel increases, its demand will decrease. This is the economic forecasting, and this is based on the economic model of theory of demand or demand model of demand. Now, what's about the formulation of policies? It is through statistical investigations the finance minister gets some feedback on many financial matters like tax paying capacity of the people and revenue needs of the government. Accordingly, tax rates are fixed to get maximum possible revenue with least discomfort to the people. Dear students, finance minister is very finance minister plays a very important role in formulating economic policies. In this present scenario, when the economy is facing COVID-19 and the economy is suffering from low growth rate, our finance minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, has introduced many policies, and our Prime Minister has also launched Self Reliant India. So, Finance Minister has introduced a package of rupees 20 lakh crores in Indian economy in order to pull out the economy out of the ill effects of COVID 19. So, all these policies are formulated on the basis of the the economic issues, or you can say the severity or the magnitude of economic issues, and this magnitude of economic issues is brought by statistical study. Now, what's about the limitations of statistics? In this very topic, we will discuss about the drawbacks of statistics. The very first one, study of numerical facts only. Statistics study only those facts that can be expressed in numerical terms. It does not give weightage to qualitative aspects like honesty, friendship, health, beauty, etc. Secondly, study of aggregates only. Statistics studies only the aggregates of the quantitative facts. It does not study statistical facts relating to a single unit. For example, if we say Ram gets a pocket money of rupees 500 per month, this is not a statistics. But if we say Ram gets pocket money of rupees 500 and Sham gets a pocket money of rupees 1000 per month, then this is statistics, because we need to compare the facts in order to conclude something. Means a single number will not be studied in statistics, rather we need aggregate of facts in order to compare, in order to conclude. Next, this is homogeneity of data. Homogeneity means uniformity. To compare data, it is essential that statistics are uniform in quality, For example, production of wheat cannot be compared with the production of cloth. It is because cloth is measured in meters and wheat in tons. Next, results are true only on an average. As we have already studied that statistics is not a pure science, this is a social science and studies human aspects. That's why the laws or the results drawn from statistics are true only on an average. Unlike the laws of natural science, statistical observations are not error free. They are valid under some particular conditions. For example, if it is said that per capita income of India is rupees 80,000 per annum, it does not mean that the income of each and every Indian is rupees 80,000. Some may have more and some may have less. Now, without reference, result may prove to be wrong. This is very important concept. In order to understand the conclusions, it is necessary to study the circumstances and conditions properly. For example, if we compare the profits earned by two firms during 3 years, suppose the profits earned by firm A during 3 years is rupees 1000 crores, rupees 2000 crores and rupees 3000 crores respectively. On the other hand, the profits earned by firm B is rupees 3000 crores, rupees 2000 crores and rupees 1000 crores respectively. It is clear that the average profit of both the firms for these 3 years is rupees 2000 crores. How we will calculate the average profit? 1000 plus 2000 plus 3000 means 6000 divided by 2 divided by 3. It will be 2000 for firm A. Now for firm B, 3000 plus 2000 plus 1000, this is 6000 by 3, this is 2000. So it is clear that the average profit of both the firms for these 3 years is rupees 2000 crores. So if we do not study the circumstances or conditions, we can misconclude that the financial condition of both the firms is same. But in reality, the profit of firm A is continuously increasing and the profit of firm B is continuously decreasing. Means the financial condition of firm A is far better than firm B. Next, can be used only by the experts. Statistics can be understood by those persons who do not have special knowledge of statistical methods. Those who are ignorant about these methods cannot make sensible use of statistics. Means statistics cannot be studied, cannot be used by the layman. It can be rightly said that statistical methods are most dangerous tools in the hands of an inexpert. Next, this is prone to be misused. Misuse of statistics is very common. Statistics may use to support a predetermined conclusion. That's why it is usually said that statistics are like clay by which you can make a god or a devil as you please. Dear students, statistics are just the numbers and can be used anyway in order to explain the predetermined objectives. Means these are just the data and can be used any way. Next, this is the last topic. This is distrust of statistics. Distrust means less reliable. Now, distrust of statistics means it is a situation when statistics is not capable to give reliable or trustworthy results. Some people have misgiving about statistics, means some statisticians themselves define statistics as statistics is a rainbow of lies, statistics are tissues of falsehood, statistics are like clay of which you can make a god or a devil as you please. Now, what's about the causes of distrust? This is different kinds of statistics are obtained in respect of given problems. बच्चे, in the following chapters, you will discuss more about different methods. Means we will study how statistical information are collected by using different methods. and because of this difference in methods, we obtain different types of statistics and they provide us less reliable results. Now, statistics can be altered to match the predetermined conclusions, as we have already discussed that statistics can be used in order to meet the predetermined conclusions. Next, this is lack of authenticity, means lack of reality. When statistics are collected in a partial manner, then the results are generally wrong. In the following chapters, we will discuss about the different methods by which statistics are collected and we will discuss about their respective reliability. Now, how to remove distrust? By giving consideration to the statistical limitation, as we have already studied that statistics can be misused, the results, the numerical information can be misused, and these are very difficult for a layman to use them properly. That's why in order to remove distrust, it should be keep in mind that statistical study has few limitations. Now, the user should be impartial. The user, the statistician, or the investigator should not be partial at all. Statistics should be used only by the experts to minimize the possibility of misuse. By keeping these points in mind, we can minimize the chances or the chances of distrust of statistics. With this topic is over. Now, what's about your homework? You are to revise the chapter properly and please send your doubts on app or in group or to me personally.